Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Studio Series 03, Crowbar. Crowbar, if you didn't know, is one of the Decepticons that attacked Sam and his buddies on the highway in Dark of the Moon, the others being Berserker and Hatchet. Hatchet was a car that turned into a dog-like creature, was it a car? No, it was an SUV. Berserker and Crowbar are SUVs. Crowbar looks actually pretty good in robot mode. It's not a bad looking figure. I especially like the head sculpt. The head sculpt is something unique. It looks super evil. I like it. I really do. It also has one heck of an underbite. Oh my heavens. Now this figure is very similar to Berserker. And I have Berserker right here. Right next to him. Hi. These guys are, well, I'm not sure how to say this. They're similar yet not. That's weird, I realize. There are some shared components. The shell bits that are on Crowbar and that are on Berserker, and I mean by shell bits, I mean the car pieces, are all exactly the same. The forearms are almost exactly the same. And the upper thigh area are almost exactly the same. They're not the same, though. They are not exactly the same. They are very, very, very close to each other. The only things that I think are completely the same are maybe the hands and the wheels. Oh, and the kibbly bits. So the two of them together are just different enough. I mean, even their feet are different. So they are just different enough to be completely new figures. They both, however, do have the exact same accessory. Crowbar and Berserker have these weird mace things that look kind of like grenades. They're supposed to be able to be hooked on the back for storage, but oh, who cares? In the looks department, Crowbar does look a little bit untidy. The coloring doesn't totally work for me. It's just too dark. But I do like the molding, except for all the hollowness inside the arms and legs. That's just something we can't get away from. I love the look of the dreads. The massive dreadlocks coming out of the top of the head and the sides are really cool, though they get in the way during the transformation. We'll be taking a look at that shortly. You can get some decent poses out of this guy. He's got tons of articulation, the normal articulation. Hinges in the feet, hinges in the knee, thigh swivel, ball joint in the hips, which the ball joints are very tight on this figure. He has ab crunches going, or he's got ab posability, sort of. Ball joint in the shoulder, swivel at the upper thigh, hinge at the elbow. Hands rotate forward and back for the transformation, but no other articulation. And ball joint in the head. Even though the figure has a bunch of posability, when you go to pose him, things have a tendency to get in the way, specifically the backpack car kibble. That just gets in the way no matter what you do. And then again, the tendrils or the dreadlocks. I would say these are more tendrils, or I don't know. I can't remember Dark of the Moon. I think these might actually be saw blades, so there's that. But overall, it's not bad. I still think this mold isn't great, though. Berserker was not a fun figure, and it was a pain in the butt to get transformed. Crowbar isn't any different. I would really like to see customizers go give this guy a better paint job. One word of warning about the transformation is the directions. They could have been better. There could be, I don't know, lighter purple going on here, but you've got this Decepticon purple on off-whitish, darkish gray background for the directions. My old man eyes have a hard enough time reading the directions when they're done well, and these aren't great. Again, that's also because the transformation isn't that much fun. So let's go ahead and get into that transformation. To start off with, we're going to fold up the fists, or the hands, into the forearms, come down to the feet, and flip the tires into the bottom of the toes, like that. Come up to the forearms and fold out the, windows. Point the arms straight up at an angle, like that, and then we can then fold the shoulders up onto these up like that. fold the head in, and then the arms are supposed to touch next to each other. It's very difficult to tell from the directions, but I think the arms are supposed to be like this, with the ball joints pointing towards the inside or towards the sides of the head, like that. So point the ball joints in like that. These don't peg in together, though. Next, we come down to the legs and fold the feet straight down, and then turn the legs at the thigh swivels so that the toes, or the top of the feet, are pointing next to each other, like that. And then we want to kind of come up here to the hips and fold the hips out so that the tires are in line with the rest of the body, and then take the entire upper torso, fold it down at the abs, and then fold the legs down, and these little clasps, or these little pegs that are just on the outside of the feet, will peg into these little tiny peg holes just on the top of the forearms, like this. And you really want to do this slowly. You don't want to do it quickly, otherwise you'll miss where it pegs into and you'll end up making a mess. Trust me, I know. Next, we're going to want to take this entire backpack section and fold it up, flip out the rear and the top of the vehicle mode, drop the whole section back, and then it's time to play Plug the Panels In. Before we continue with the transformation, I wanted to clarify something with the directions. So it looks like for the side tendrils, or dreads, or whatever, you're supposed to fold them back along the back, and then they're supposed to fold up and tuck into this open cavity. You're supposed to do the same thing with these guys, but where? I mean, the directions have you pointing these all out this way, and then folding everything down to the underside of the vehicle mode. Okay, well, we could do that, but things are going to get ugly. But once we get all the panels and everything clicked into place, it should be fine. Should be, as long as everything holds together. Once we got the panels all pegged into place, come up to the front, and then just clean up the front. Fold the doors in, plug everything into place, and there we go. We have a Chevy SUV with dreadlocks coming out of its butt. Okay, so I haven't really found a great way to store these other than pulling them forward, pushing them all the way down, and then kind of just folding them up into the bottom of the SUV and really hoping that it all holds together. As you can see, Berserker is slightly different, just slightly different than Crowbar, who is here on the right. And the reason you could tell is I can never get Berserker to stay in vehicle mode. And that's simply because of the way the knees are and the legs. They keep buckling whenever I apply pressure to them. So it doesn't stay in vehicle mode, and the panels fall off of the arms as well. So I actually think Crowbar is a better figure. Yeah, it's not great, but it's a better figure than Berserker. So the big question remains, should you pick this figure up? Honestly, I'm not sure. If you're a completist, or you really want to have all three of those SUVs from Dark of the Moon, then yes, by all means, pick it up. Otherwise, I would get Ratchet and Stinger first, and then this guy, and that Bumblebee can burn in the fires of Inferno. So, again, does this figure deserve the hammer? No, I don't think so. I'm not a fan of the figure. I don't think it's the greatest figure in the world, but I don't really have that many problems with it other than, some minor aesthetic problems, and I think the paint is too dark. Or I should say the color palette is too dark. Otherwise, the figure's fine-ish, especially for a movie figure. So again, thank you so much for watching this video review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think of the figure down in the comments. Hit that like button and give me a subscribe. And please subscribe to my channel if you love the video. As always, I am Baltmatrix, and I will catch you next time.